Hello, today I have a pretty crazy optimization and this one actually took me almost a week to get right and a lot of pain and agony. So what is this? Basically, instead of producing a graph and then iterating the graph for a 3D scene, we're producing a list of byte comments that we execute to render the 3D scene. This has a lot of advantages, such as removing 2 pointers for every node, which means we basically halve the data size, which means we halve the data throughput required to iterate this. And the code is a little simpler, but also a lot more complicated to understand. Let me show you. So in Mario 64, you would have like, okay, this is the root of your scene, and then there would be like a children to the root. Maybe this is like the camera matrix. And then the camera matrix would be like, okay, well, there's an object here and an object here and maybe level geometry here. Then this would be each one of those. And then maybe the level geometry has like 3 parts to it. And maybe this has 2 parts to it. And then the object is 1 part to it. But maybe there's like a whole armature that has more parts to it. So let's draw it like this for a second. I will be the MS Paint guy. So what Mario 64 does is we just enter try process children. If there are children, which, you know, first node, there are children. We're like, okay, process the node and siblings. And then we're doing this, we're just going for all the children. So if the child is like an author projection, we run the author projection function. If it's a camera, we run the camera function. If it's like an object, we run the object function. If it's part of an armature, we run that. Whatever we want, right? So we do the first child, and then it's simply like goes to the next child and then the next child. And in each one of these functions here, if you look at it, at the bottom, it processes to children again. So what this does in practice, it means we visit this node, then we visit this node, then we visit this node, then this, then this, then this. Then we jump back up here, go here, go here, go here, we go back up, we go here, we go here, we go here, we go here. Now, there are some disadvantages to this. The first is you need to know these lines here. You need to know these lines. If you don't know the lines, it sucks. The second is you need to go down here, you need to go down here, you need to go down here. Waste a lot of stack space, needs a lot of data, is not great. So instead what we do, I have this execute graph comment function, which first of all, fucking look at all this, man. This is fucking stupid. We don't want that. Instead, we just have this. Like, okay, this should have just been a jump table from the get-go. But that's not the point. You see how we don't actually go into any children or siblings or whatever? Instead, we simply have our data pointer here, and then we increment our data pointer by however many bytes our data says to increment. Instead of going up and down a stack of child relations, we simply have an index into the matrix stack, and everything edits the matrix stack to instead be where we need it to be. And this basically bakes the child-parent relation into the bytecode without actually needing to know it. And that's a lot faster. It removes around half the data, it removes all the pointers, removes a lot of math, it makes the code a lot smaller, and it's awesome. Very happy with it. It saved around 50 microseconds on the RDP and around 200 microseconds on the CPU. Considering this takes maybe 4 milliseconds in total to run through, to execute, that's pretty good. Very happy with it. That's all. Bye bye.